But when I really mean it, trust me, I will tell you. So please stick to the end. It's going to be long, but trust me, it will be worth it. Got plenty of beautiful things to show you. Best of all, the main event. I'm going to finish on this, and I promise it will deliver. I got Joe Rogan at a UFC show who left his mic on while he was extremely emotional. So he's got like sniffles. It's pretty ridiculous, but I respect him for it. But it's really funny stuff, and I don't think people are talking about it enough. It's like pure meme material. So I'll show you that at the end. That's the very end. Before then, of course, we got plenty of news to talk about. I want to talk about Last of Us casting. I got a good take on WandaVision and Last of Us casting. And then we're going to get into the movie reviews. Bad Education. Very good stuff with Hugh Jackman. Could be his best role. And of course, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom from the last role of Chadwick Boseman. The great Chadwick Boseman. And to be honest, we're going to put respect on his name. Big time. That is why this is a big show. That is why I want you to watch. Please. For him, it's... I worked, yeah. Anyway, he deserves it. And finally, yeah, we're going to talk WandaVision at the end because of spoiler reasons, but also, yeah, specific take. And first and foremost, Daft Punk finished the split apart finally after, 12 years. And this is their greatest contribution in my opinion. Of course, the songs we know, One More Time, and, Faster, Better, Stronger, Faster, whatever. We'll remember those forever, right? They are part of pop culture, but they did the score to Tron Legacy, and their score for this film is the best part of the film. And this is the infamous light cycle scene. And this to me will go down in cinema history as one of the best scenes of all time, coolest scenes of all time, just because of their music. It's insane. So here we go. It's going to be loud, but it's on purpose. I mean, this is all about the music. Of course, the visuals are there, but again, this is all about Daft Punk and saying goodbye. Here we go. Now I know I'm going to get in trouble for this, but that's why I put it at the beginning. I might get in trouble for this and what's at the end. If so, I will have to remove it. But here we go. I'll talk over here because the beat does repeat. But trust me, this will only be a minute. It's worth it. Again, all Daft Punk. Here we go. These light cycles, man, they're so freaking cool. It sucks this movie didn't have a good story. Because if it did, the visuals alone, the set design, the score, the soundtrack is incredible. Here we go. That is some good music. When I think of good scores, man, this is up there. So this is my goodbye to Daft Punk. Thank you for the memories. We'll see you down the road, baby. Okay, so let me start this. So we are going to be moving around a lot because I got a lot of stuff here. But as I've said, everything is curated and beautiful. Speaking of which, Perfect Planet. I'm going to put some music back on. Give me a sec. Boom. Making it work. By the way, you can chat. I will check periodically. Thing is, this show is like hard for chat to be involved. What the hell is this? I don't remember this. Oh, okay, that's why. I'm like, man, hopefully that didn't get me in trouble. Here we go. I got a beautiful playlist here of some beautiful things. Of course. So this is the Perfect Planet. I'll talk about it real quickly because I talked about it before. It's a 10 out of 10. Like, it wasn't a 10 out of 10 before because I didn't finish it. Obviously, this is the new BBC nature documentary, 5 episodes. There's one every year. It's objectively the best show on television just because of its beauty. You know, this is Earth. This is it. This is what we are. Animals, humans, etc., etc. But the crazy thing about that is, first of all, a 10 is not guaranteed on these shows. A lot of them are 9s, depending on, episode quality and whatever, as you can see right here. 9, and then 2 10s. If you get 2 10s, you got 5 episodes, that's automatic 10. But here's where it gets crazy. The last episode, called Humans, I gave it an 8 because of it's a literal guilt trip. It's crazy, because the first 4 episodes are purely animals. They're there to show you the beauty of animal life, classic BBC nature documentary stuff. But then the 5th episode is a straight up gut punch of global warming. Like, it's every time they release one of these, they're getting more and more pushy about that fact. Deservingly so, because people are not listening, of course, and nobody's doing much. And it's such a guilt trip. It is so powerful in how it tries to shock you into actually doing something that I was like talking to my roommate constantly about not only what they were showing, but like of ways to actually improve the Earth. Like I'm some freaking government official or something. You know what I mean? Like we can make a difference, and that's what sucks about it, right? You do as much as you can. Like you know, my roommate bought an electric car. Of course, we recycle, we compost, we do what we can. Right? I started soy milk, whatever. Anyway, but it feels like it's never enough, and it feels like it's not our fault. And because, you know, if the options were there, if, like, example, you could volunteer and then you wouldn't be affected at work, to do volunteer environmental work, like, I don't know, once a month, once a week, and you could just go back to work like nothing happened, man, that would help, you know. Regardless, 10 out of 10, highly recommend it. But if you do not want the guilt trip, quit at episode 4. Episode 5 is purely dooming. And it shies away from, you know, beautiful animal stuff like this, which is, again, it's not a problem. I took it so that maybe you don't have to. So if you don't want to, you know, 10 out of 10, 9.1, love it. Moving on. What else? Dashboard. Okay, this we can remove. Okay, next. Let's go here. Last of Us casting. My take. First of all, who cares about the casting? The casting is beautiful, by the way. But the thing is, we can never know for sure if it works until they act. What I'm going to talk about is the director. The people nobody is talking about, the person that matters the most on any TV show, on every film. It's the director. It's the showrunner. That's just how it goes. Everything trickles down. It's the CEO all the way down, the director all the way down. You know, it doesn't matter how well it's written. It doesn't matter how well it's acted. If there's no good direction on all of it, it doesn't come together. And you have a mediocre product. That's why we have amazing directors that people know, and same thing with showrunners like the freaking Lindelof, you know. But so yeah, the casting, awesome. Pedro Pascal, by the way, was my favorite part of Wonder Woman 84, which I didn't hate as much as everybody else. He was my favorite thing. I love Pedro Pascal in that film, so much so that it made, like, that casting made so much sense. He plays a father in that film. He plays a villain who's also a loving father, or as much as he can be, you know. And the thing is with Bella Ramsey, she was great in Game of Thrones. Apparently that's the only thing I've seen her in. The thing is, you're gonna sacrifice the thing about The Last of Us that people don't understand when it comes to adapting it as a TV show is that it's actually fun. You know what I mean? The first game is extremely fun, gameplay to gameplay, also quick-witted. Like Ellie in the game is sarcastic and is funny, like purposefully so the whole game, even though it's a very, very dramatic game. Her, especially in the first game, I haven't played the second one, but in the first game she's extremely funny, and that's, I think, is what we're gonna lose. We're gonna lose it because, and this is my point here, the director, the showrunner of The Last of Us is the director of Beanpole. Beanpole is a movie that came out in 2019, 2020 technically, for most people. 92.75, you cannot deny those scores. Those are amazing scores. But let me tell you, I've seen this film myself. I gave it a 7 because it is the most depressing film I saw last year. The most depressing, by far. It's like, man, sitting in that theater room and leaving felt like crap. Like you wouldn't believe. So, and I'll show you the trailer here. Oh shit, I lost the page. We'll get it back. But, so visually, of course, it's going to be different. Everything is different, right? But the tone is why they chose this director. And there's no jokes, man. There's no time for levity. There's no time to have a good time in the apocalypse, right? This is a World War II drama in a nurse type environment, like a hospital with young nurses that take care of war hurt, you know, veterans. Man, so while I'm extremely excited about the adaptation and the casting is great, especially Pedro Pascal, she has to prove herself. By the way, she's 18, so we'll see how that goes. But man, I think we're gonna lose the wit. We're gonna lose the fun that makes the first Last of Us so memorable. But we'll see. So again, I'm just setting you up for disappointment in a way, in terms of it's not gonna be fun to watch, is what I'm saying. So that's The Last of Us. But I'm still extremely excited. And the other bit of news, real quick, was got it, boom. Nope, is Avatar. The Avatar, The Last Airbender, just opened a studio. It's literally called Avatar Studios. It's from the same creators, so the two creators are back in here, and the first thing they're going to do is an animated theatrical film, which is huge. That is huge, because Netflix still has their live action show coming, and both of the creators left that show because of creative differences. So in my mind, you can just disregard that show. And it goes with everything, right? They just announced Paddington 3. Paddington 2, I view as one of the best films ever made, if not my favorite film of all time. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one on that. And so you announce a sequel to that, you cannot follow perfection. In the same way you cannot follow a comedian who kills his set, or a singer who delivers an incredible performance. You cannot follow perfection. And that's what happened to The Legend of Korra, right? In this article, by the way, they don't even mention Korra. They barely, it's like it doesn't exist, even though it's still a good show. It's just not as good as Avatar, because Avatar is animated perfection. So that live action show, disregarded completely. Unless it comes out and it's perfect, which again, can't be, then maybe. But otherwise, just, you know, let's stick with this. Because it's going to deliver. The creators, that's where they're at. Okay, and finally, Bad Education. I can't go into deep spoilers about it, okay? I will at the end of the show. I will at the absolute end, because just to tell you what the movie is about would be to spoil it, okay? 7.1, 94%, extremely high. Hugh Jackman's best role. It might be his best role of his entire career. And I'm not saying this lightly. I love Hugh Jackman. I've seen him in The Prestige, you know, whatever. You name it, chances are I've seen it, and I love it. To be honest, you'd be hard-pressed to find a bad performance from him. The point is, this could be his best. Not only that, but it's also an extremely entertaining film. It's based on true events, and I officially gave it a 9. Where is it? Right here. Boom. Extremely high. The only one I gave another 9 to was Nomadland, which is hard to watch. This one is not hard to watch. It's frustrating to watch because you'll be mad at the characters, but as a film, it's just a fun mystery, and to see it dissolve, if you will, in this case. So I cannot recommend it enough, and I will go why at the very end. It'll be the last thing I talk about, even after WandaVision, because that's how big this spoiler is. It's huge, but it puts everything together, and it's not even like it's something you know within the first half an hour. But man, does it change everything. So please, highly recommend this one for anybody, and do not watch trailers. Just go into it, especially if you like Hugh Jackman, which, you know, everybody does. It's Hugh Jackman. Love him. So yeah, that's Bad Education. And here we go. We're getting into the meat of it. Okay, we're talking Black Panther. We're talking Chadwick Boseman. Don't worry, we will talk about Michael Fassbender later on. Okay, so Chadwick Boseman. Let me get something ready here. Okay, so I saw Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. That was on the list. That's his last performance. Got a nice playlist here. Hopefully it works. Let me turn this off. Boom. Man. Okay, so here we go. My man Chadwick. Okay, so here's the thing. I promise you, after this, I will deliver you an extremely funny and beautiful moment between Chadwick Boseman and Michael B. Jordan, who plays the villain in Black Panther. I promise you, this will alleviate everything, what you feel once we're done, okay? But we must put respect on his name. I've wanted to do this. I say must put respect on his name because of the main event. What I'm going to show you at the end with Joe Rogan and him getting emotional was because the champion at the time, the welterweight champion, this was 2 weeks ago, UFC 256 or 257. Damn, I forgot his name just now. Oh yeah, Kamaru Usman. Man, it just goes to the point where I gotta put respect on his name. Kamaru Usman defended his belt successfully 3 times in a row. Thing is, he was extremely mad and frustrated after the fight, to the point where he was screaming into the microphone, "Put respect on my name," you know what I mean? Because he deserves it. You know, there's something about an artist or a fighter or somebody who truly excels, right? Perfect example is Hugh Jackman that I just talked about. If Hugh Jackman came out, right, did a video and is like, "Put respect on my name," he already has the respect, but we would listen because we respect him, you know what I mean? And it's like, oh hey, you're right. Right, Hugh Jackman, you are one of the great actors. Kamaru Usman, you are one of the great fighters. Chadwick Boseman, you are one of the best representations of what an actor is. And what a beautiful way and a beautiful lived life he has done, and the choices he has made, which we'll get into. Now, I won't talk about most of his fictional characters. I'll talk about the big 3. And the 3 big, actual, real people he portrayed. Okay? So we're talking Jackie Robinson in 42, which was his breakout role, by the way. Baseball player. Have not seen it. But my point is, you'll see. Okay? Marshall, which was a lawyer. Thurgood Marshall, which is a black lawyer way back in the day, forget what year it was, but I'm talking old ass cars, you know what I mean? And Get On Up, which is a movie about James Brown. So you got James Brown, Jackie Robinson, Thurgood Marshalls, all three real people with extremely interesting lives, hence the films. My point here is these are objectively good films. Got 80%. Marshall, I scored it an 8 myself, and 81, right? These are objectively good. And they would not be if it weren't for his performance. That is just a fact. If you're going to portray a real life person in a film, no matter how good the directing is, no matter how the production design, cinematography, who cares? If the performance isn't good, if you do not portray this real life person with respect, reverence, and actual real portrayal, you will be lambasted. That's it. Doesn't mean your career's over, of course, and it's happened before, but he has not. He has nailed it out of the park, making these three people, after you see these films, immortal. That's the thing about a good movie. A good movie will last you forever. Memories of a specific person will die. Like, I used Elvis as an example a few weeks ago. Elvis will disappear in time, right? But these people, these movies will not. If you want to watch a good film and you're like, man, I remember Chadwick. Like, we haven't seen 42. I haven't seen 42, and one day I will. And chances are I'll love it because of his performance. And he did most of these. Black Panther especially, right? Black Panther. We cannot understate T'Challa. T'Challa is a fictional character, but he means more right now in 2021 than the three historic characters I was just telling you about, right? And here's where it gets real, okay? Chadwick Boseman died 43 years old of cancer, of course. We won't go into the details of his death because that doesn't matter. What matters is what he did when he lived, the choices he made, and especially how he finished his career. Now, you will see me right now get choked up, okay, and get emotional, because this is as real as it gets, and again, we're here to put respect on his name, because there's not much more deserving, really, like, period. And here's why, okay? Whew. So the big thing, when he died, Ryan Coogler, the director of Black Panther, penned this letter. So a lot of actors, you know, everybody put something, right? All the actors, everybody loved him, by the way. There's not one bad word about him. Everybody has their emotionals to go through. Michael B. Jordan was pretty broken up about it, of course. And again, comedy coming, by the way, with Michael B. Jordan. But here's what Ryan Coogler had to say, and it will make you respect Black Panther on a level you never have before. Okay? So yeah. I learned later, okay, right here. He also advocated for his character to speak with an African accent so that he could present T'Challa to audiences as a African king whose dialect had not been conquered by the West. Man, that is a choice. You choose to have an extremely thick accent, right? Which, by the way, if you rewatch the film, is so thick, but because of his consistency and because of his talent, he made it sing, baby. There's not one critic in the world who's like, you know what, that accent, don't like it. You know what I mean? It's part of the film, it's part of the character, and he made it sing. But here's where it gets crazy. Okay, that was the first of many conversations. He was a special person. We would often speak about heritage. Man, this is hard for me, okay? And what it means to be African. Damn it. I thought I would be able to do this. When preparing for the film, he would ponder every decision, every choice, not just how it would reflect on himself, but how those choices could reverberate. Okay? This is his words. Okay, there's missing R. They are not ready for this, what we are doing. Talking from his voice, it's crazy. Okay, this is Star Wars, this is Lord of the Rings, but for us, and bigger. He would say this to me when we were struggling to finish a scene. Okay, stretching into double overtime, which is crazy. Double overtime as, like, in filmmaking terms? I've never heard that before. Or while he was covered in body paint, doing his own stunts. By the way, he had cancer while doing his own stunts. Or crashing into frigid waters and foam landing pads. I would nod and smile, but I didn't believe him. I didn't believe him. Ryan Coogler is the director. He's the one who is heading the ship. I had no idea if the film would work. I wasn't sure if I knew what I was doing. I didn't even know if what he was doing was okay. It's crazy. But I look back and realize that Chad knew something we all didn't. He was playing the long game, all while putting in the work. And work he did. Okay? I'm almost done here. I promise you again, comedy is coming. I promise. Okay, this is where it gets crazy. Because now we're going to be going into spoilers about Black Panther, especially the ending. It's very important. So here we go. Okay, while filming the movie, we would meet at the office or at my rental home in Atlanta to discuss lines and different ways to add depth to each scene. We talk costume, anyway. Okay, here we go. He said to me, Wakandans have to dance during the coronations. If they just stand there with spears, what separates them from Romans? That's one of the best scenes of the film. It's when the waterfall fights, right? Everybody's with their spears and they're like hitting it and they're dancing, and there's a vibe to it that is powerful. You know, those are the most powerful scenes in the film. And here we go. In the early drafts of the script, Eric Killmonger, which is the villain, of course, character would ask T'Challa to be buried in Wakanda, right? Which in the film is the complete opposite. Chad challenged that and asked, what if Killmonger asked to be buried somewhere else? Anywhere but Wakanda. You know, this is not his home. This is, anyway, and that is because of Chad. And Black Panther is known for having the best ending, especially villain ending, in all of Marvel. And it's all because of Chadwick. That is beautiful. Anyway, and that is only the beginning. Because, like I said, once you rewatch Black Panther, by the way, you do realize he is slim. He is still buff. He is still strong. But there is a slimness that came with his disease. That's just how it goes, you know? That's just how it went. Okay, so this is his producer talking about Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, which, by the way, is a solid 8 out of 10. It's his last performance. People say it's his greatest performance. I would debate that, but it is as fantastic as any of his other performance. He plays a trumpet player. The thing about the film is that it's based on the play. And it's about Ma, who used to be a blues artist, very well-known blues artist back in the 20s, like way early on. So half of the movie is about her, which is again a real blues singer, and him, who's like a fictional character, trumpet player with big dreams. It's pretty good, but because it's based on the play, it's very wordy, and it's not very cinematic. It sucks too because it starts on like a tent, and it's like the vibes, right? The bayou vibes and the blues vibes, where, you know, black communities come together. It's infectious. But then you get into the actual meat of the story, and it's mostly secluded into this recording studio. So while fantastic, and I do recommend it, if you don't like theater, or you know what I mean, it's you can pass, but still fantastic, especially his performance. But I do want to finish on this. So the producer was talking after his death about, you know, he was a friend and producer, and he's one of the rare people that knew that he had cancer. I watched as he gritted his teeth and took deep breaths as he battled the immeasurable pain of tumors and the debilitating effects of chemo in order to sit through a script writing session, or to arrive on set and act a scene, or to be the consummate movie star. As we sat through the studio pitch meetings, I was in absolute awe of him in these moments. He never let on that he was in any pain or discomfort. He just pushed through, with silent dignity and resolve to fulfill his purpose. It was his greatest performance. He knew what God put him on this earth to do, and he didn't want people knowing or focusing on his battle, and not his work. Meaning, he sacrificed his life, literally, and I'm talking days, months, weeks, with family members, with friends, with people he cared about, people he's affected personally in his life, to affect the world, to affect anybody watching his work to also be affected. He sacrificed personal bonds to create emotion for audiences. It's a gigantic sacrifice that I cannot understate. That is why we must put respect on his name. That is why this matters, and that is why I needed to showcase this, and it was important to me. And finally, this is going to be very hard for me. It's just 2 sentences, but here we go. Okay, to be part of his legacy. He didn't want the cancer to be part of his legacy. In our last conversation about work, he said to me, tell him what we did. Tell him all the work that was done, and what I had to go through to tell those stories. I'm sorry I'm emotional. Again, just reading it. See, it's crazy how my emotional shifts, but you read that out loud, and it is his legacy. He took the pain to give us something. Us, Me, you, anybody watching his films. That is why he's one of the greatest actors of all time. Not only is he extremely consistent, not only has he made real life people that are deserving of beautiful stories immortal because of his respect for them and his respect for the craft, but he did it all through sacrifice. And we must acknowledge it, we must respect it, and we must immortalize it. To Chadwick Boseman, I give you all my respect. Like, there's... Anyway, so as promised, it's time to laugh, baby. It's time for some good vibes. Here we go.
Top lip.
Oh, Jesus.
So see how it goes, and see.
My bad.
Be something. Complement each
Gotta
other.
explain the
Straight
rules,
face,
baby.
Compliments
Okay, here we
game.
go. Okay, here we go.
So what we're going to do is play a little game, and it's the compliments game. So what I need you guys to do is to compliment each other, straight face.
Yeah.
First to laugh loses. It can be a genuine compliment, or it can be something to try and make them laugh. So when I played this with my friend, I told her that her nasal hair was beautiful, the way it was tickling her top lip.
Oh, Jesus.
So see how it goes, and see.
This is intense.
This is very intense. I was like, oh, man.
First to
They
laugh.
already-
First to
First to
laugh.
laugh.
Already
So you've got to keep
smiling.
it.
Okay. I gotta
can't-
get my. We gotta get our game face.
Yeah. Okay.
This could get real weird for you. Like,
You can't laugh yet. You can't laugh.
we got it out.
I love the way, I really appreciate the way your beard, somewhat connects from.
It somewhat connects. It's too good.
I'm just projecting because I can't really grow one the way I want one. So I was just jealous. First thing I saw.
Let's see. Okay, well, let's get our game faces on. Let's reverse this and send it back.
Okay. I've already lost though.
I'm trying to play it with you. I'm straight face.
Oh man.
All right. It's the worst when you start to get the giggles.
Man.
All right.
All right. I really appreciate how your eyebrows have a life of their own. And,
One thing is it's like a running joke. Like in my family, that eyebrows really do its own thing, and the fact that he went directly to the eyebrow, it made it that much funnier.
oh my God.
Well, that's fantastic. I think you both lost. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. Thank you so much.
I've never played those, but
You
that's
like that
good.
one?
Oh man. So yeah, not only one of the good ones, one of the best ones we've ever had. Chadwick Boseman. Love you, man. Okay. That's too good, baby. So save this clip. Black Panther stars on filming with no clothes from Kerrang. Hopefully that doesn't get me in trouble. But I had to showcase that. It's too good. So yeah. The man, the myth, the legend. Forever remembered. Or at least till I die. I'll make it so. So yeah. Now we'll talk about WandaVision, of course, and we'll finish on Bad Education spoilers, and of course the Joe Rogan clip that I promised at the beginning. So yeah, WandaVision. Everybody has a take. I'm up to date, which means episode 7. By the way, spoilers for... If you don't want spoilers for WandaVision, and trust me, you do not, please leave. This is where you go. Watch Bad Education. Highly recommend it. And also, I do want to talk about the films, right? Because I am moving. I forgot to say that at the beginning. I'm moving houses. Nothing will change. Just the background. The wall might look different. But yeah, because of I am moving and it was last minute, I could not complete my best of list. I was planning to do one movie every day. Unfortunately, a lot of days got cut because I got to pack, baby. Packing is no joke. So yeah, I only watched the 2 more since last time, which has been a while. And the thing is, the Golden Globes are this Sunday, in 4 days, right? So I got time for 3 more movies, and I will specifically watch the ones that are nominated for Best Picture, especially drama. So we've seen Nomadland, which was nominated. We've seen what's it called? Promising Young Women, of course, which I also very love big time. Give it a 9. And the last two we haven't seen. First of all, there's Mank, which I will not see. I've talked about it before. I won't do it now. It's the Trial of the Chicago 7, which is Aaron Sorkin, written and directed on Netflix. So that's one of the nominations. And of course, The Father, which is Anthony Hopkins going through Alzheimer's. Both are apparently very good. Hell, they wouldn't be nominated if they aren't. So I'll do those two. And Minari, which is nominated for Best Foreign Film. And people are loving Minari like crazy. Like it's the Parasite of this year in terms of recognition, in terms of quality, right? In terms of love, not in terms of movement. You know what I mean? It's not that big of a story. But so yeah, we'll watch those three before Sunday. We'll do a quick predictions video, and I'll also do a recap afterwards, probably on the 2nd, because on the 1st I won't have the internet to do so. And so yeah, that's for the Golden Globes, and that's unfortunately the update on these movies. Doesn't change much, by the way. I will do most of these in March. The Oscars are in end of April, so it's pretty crazy in terms of timing. So yeah, WandaVision. Please leave if you haven't seen it. Highly recommend it. Best time to start is now. So 7 episodes in, right? So here are my scores. I love it. It has 110, so it would just need one more to be a 10 out of 10 show. I love it so much. A lot of 9s. But here's my take. Everybody has a take. Who cares? I don't like to watch spoiler videos, especially because I know a lot of this. I read the Vision comic book, which the image of it inspired this entire show. But it's Vision and a female wife and 2 female robots. A lot of stuff goes down, and it's pretty much the suburban home life. They took that from that comic. I also read, of course, House of M. Yeah, but the big thing I want to talk about, which nobody's talking about, is we're not talking theories here. We're talking about what actually matters. The secret that they've hidden in the show that will matter in a few years that nobody is even noticing. And these are 2 of my favorite comics of all time, so much so that I owned them. You know what I mean? I went out of my way to make sure I had these. It's Young Avengers. It's incredibly good. Of course, a small team, but the 2 but 2 of the characters in this group are the 2 characters from the show, Billy and the 2 kids. I forget the name of the second kid, but their actual superhero names, Speed and Wiccan. Okay? In the last episode, again, this is why we're talking spoilers, we saw them use their powers. Speed, of course, has Quicksilver's powers. Go fast. Very simple. Wiccan has his mother's powers, which means he's a pure magician. So he has the powers of magic. And if you saw the actors, now we don't know what they'll do. They might kill him. They might all be a fabrication. They might not be the age they are, but I think they will be. Meaning, the actors that they are portrayed as. Man, we might get an image here. Let's see, photos. Hopefully we'll get it. And I have a theory, of course, but like it's a theory everybody else has shared. Crap, it's not here. Damn it. Oh, no, it's not here. We don't have the kids. Point is, they're like around 10, 11, 12 years old. Maybe even 13. I'm not good with kids' ages, of course. Who is? If you are, what the hell? If you don't have kids. They're building up to that. They're building up to Young Avengers. They have Lady Hawkeye, which is played. She's also on the team. And the point is, they could do anything. But to cast them so young, very importantly so that in 3 years they can use them as they are, as Speed, as Wiccan, in either Young Avengers or even a New Avengers, shows their long-term planning. And it's something nobody's talking about, that nobody really noticed, because they don't expect these kids to actually matter in the story, be real, or, but they are in the comics, in the, and are they kids from Vision? I'm not sure about that. I forget the father. Might not be. And the big thing, it's not shown on the cover here, but this is the second one, right? The Children's Crusade. It's all about them. It's literally called the Children's Crusade because it's the crusade of Wanda's kids to find Wanda. They're like, we gotta find Wanda. Dr. Doom is on the cover, but who should be on the cover is Magneto. Magneto plays a big part in this story. This story has nothing to do with WandaVision, but that's the big theory. The big theory is that Magneto will be coming to WandaVision. They will finish on that, by the way, music stop. They will finish on Magneto. This is how they introduce him. They already set the stage. They put the breadcrumbs with Petro from Petro the speedster, Quicksilver, but recasting him as the one from the X-Men and not the actor from Age of Ultron. which is why I really think they're bringing in Michael Fassbender. It's a big get, and it's not even that hard to believe. And I got proof, baby. His last film officially is Dark Phoenix. That is 2019. It's been a while. And one of these films is gonna die, by the way. This film here might be a dead film because it has Armie Hammer. Armie Hammer is now officially cancelled by Hollywood for good reason. He's a straight up cannibal. If he was living in the olden days, he would be a Jack the Ripper guy, like straight up. So this movie, I think, is literally dead. It happens very rarely in life where Hollywood just kills a movie. You literally have to be cancelled, or it has to be like the worst movie of all time for them to kill it. So this movie might come out, right? It might come out in like 4 or 5 years. And again, it doesn't matter, because I just want to show you the fact that his schedule has been free for a while. This is a busy actor. He works, man. He works. So what else could he have been working on other than him being introduced here? It makes too much sense, both in terms of, you know, what's in the paper, him not working, and of course what they're building up to based on what's happened. I cannot recommend Young Avengers enough. So yeah, that's my WandaVision take. That's my WandaVision thoughts. Cannot wait for the last 2 episodes. And finally, we got the Joe Rogan clip at the end. Bad Education. Bad Education. Let me put some animals back here. I said I would spoil it. Again, 9 out of 10. I cannot recommend it enough. And please leave if you have not seen Bad Education. I cannot say that enough. Please. Because Bad Education is about sociopaths. A true, real-life person who is portrayed by Hugh Jackman and somebody else about sociopaths, like straight up. Now, this is a spoiler in the first half an hour, but you get to see that perspective. That's what I love about the best films, and that's what you'll see often in these best of nominees is perspective. If you get a perspective that is given weight and respect and is beautiful in terms of its acting, in terms of its directing, you have a guaranteed Best Picture nominee every time. That's just how it works. That's Hollywood for you. And Bad Education, unfortunately, it was an HBO film, so in terms of technically counting, I'm pretty upset that Hugh Jackman is nominated for Best Actor, because trust me, he's so deserving, and because of the knowledge that he is a sociopath, you know, they're not villainous characters. They are purely selfish people. You know what I mean? They will do whatever they have to succeed in life, without regard to emotions or stakes. You know what I mean? And so the film gives respect to that perspective. It gives respect to the real life story that happened. But most of all, Hugh Jackman delivers an amazing performance. So if you ever wanted to see Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, as a sociopath, Bad Education. Cannot recommend it enough. And by the way, me spoiling that's not the ending. That's not the story. That's not the spoiler. That's just the premise. So again, I cannot recommend it enough. And finally, as promised, I got Hugh Jackman tearing up, being emotional, and they forgot to cut off his mic. Now, this is funny, undeniably so. To me, it's one of the most hilarious things I've seen in a while, but not because of shame. I'm actually extremely proud of Joe Rogan. You must know this. Showing emotions is key in this world. He has daughters. Daughters change your life. Most tough men, hard men, the hardest men on earth could have daughters, will start crying. That's just a correlation. That's just what happens. And I'm so pro that. You have no idea. So yes, we are laughing at him. Yes, we are laughing at the fact that he's sniffling and crying and being extremely emotional into a microphone that should have been cut. But I highly respect it. So here we go. Thanks for sticking around. Get passionate on these. Okay, let's start it again. So again, Kamaru Usman won. He was like, put respect on my name, right? In the same way we put respect on Chadwick Boseman's name. And this is what happened. This is at the end of his speech. He is already emotional because the victory was deserved. And of course, he does deserve that respect. So here we go. I won't talk. So you must listen. I put it loud so that you hear... it's the background. Again, it's because his mic is not on. He's not... But him's going...
Absolutely.
Dude.
Incredible finish for Kamaru Usman tonight. And right after we get
he
off
is so emotional. He is so into what has happened, right? That he has to say dude to his friend, to be like, dude, my emotions. And I really do want to make a meme video where just like thick, black, being extremely like, you know what I mean? Like he wouldn't want this out there, but it is, and we get to enjoy it. And oh crap, I wanted to set it up, but too late now. So that's it. That's our show. As always, they won't be so intense, so long, but they are when it's been a few days. Usually these will be daily, of course. And yeah. So until next time, Chadwick, you're the best. WandaVision, I cannot wait for the finish. Last of Us and Avatar, we shall see. And onwards and upwards. Minari, Trial of the Chicago 7. And finally, the last one, which I keep forgetting, The Father, in the next 3 days. Maybe La Llorona. I might sneak in La Llorona. But yeah, we'll talk about those real soon. We'll talk about the Golden Globes on Friday. I'm also going back to the cinemas. Cinemas opening. So I got to talk about that. And it will be the only time I talk about COVID. But big stuff. Big stuff. And of course, I am moving. So all this will be gone. Different wall, different background. Same old art until I get some new ones. So until next time. Love you guys. Let's check chat just in case. Sweet. Peace. And we're still live, which